What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today, this is your second stimulus check update and stimulus package update for Saturday, October 17th. October 17th means we are 17 days away from the upcoming election. Now, there's not a lot of updates for today. However, I did want to bring you the latest news and what's been going on not only today, but also last night and yesterday evening as well. Now, there is some new hazard pay I want to bring to your attention, and also there's a new proposal coming for an increase in Social Security. So if you currently collect Social Security, then you might want to watch until the end of this video. All right, so right now what we know is that Steve Mnuchin is leading the U.S. delegation traveling to Israel, Bahrain, and the United Arab Emirates. This is supposed to last from today, October 17th, until Monday, October 20th. So we will see if anything gets done. But now, most of you will not care about the U.S. delegation and what they're doing over there, and I get that. So I'm not even going to bother with that. But Stephen Mnuchin's travels are going to affect the stimulus negotiations a little bit. And I say this because originally Nancy Pelosi stated that she would not be in discussions with Steve Mnuchin until most likely tomorrow morning, so Sunday morning. However, Steve Mnuchin's time frame, his time where he's available, they are actually going to talk sometime this evening. Steve Mnuchin is also 7 hours ahead of Nancy Pelosi. So this could make speaking on the phone a little bit difficult, as he also has other things that he needs to do, other duties. So we will see what happens, but as of right now, all the reports indicate they will talk sometime tonight, and most likely they are going to go over their discussions of the testing, tracing, and treatment, and the national testing plan that Steve Mnuchin said he had some minor adjustments to. So with only 17 days left, there is little time to strike a deal and see stimulus executed. Both Larry Kudlow stated this and Steve Mnuchin stated this just this past week. So we know that there could be a stimulus deal on the table. There could be an agreement, but as far as money in our bank accounts, we might not see that until after the election, but that's not anything new. We kind of knew that going in. But this doesn't mean that Steve Mnuchin and Nancy Pelosi are going to stop trying. Just because things are getting difficult, we're getting closer to the election, doesn't mean they're going to stop trying. There are reports that say Republicans don't want a deal, but there are also reports, and have been reports, saying that Nancy Pelosi doesn't want a deal because that will take away some of her leverage and it will give more power to President Trump if she does accept a deal. So right now we just have so many reports going on. It's hard to decipher what's true and what's not. So that's kind of what I'm here for. I'm trying to tell you what is true and what is not. If something's not true, I will tell you that right up front. Currently, like I already stated, Nancy Pelosi is waiting for Steve Mnuchin to provide the full language back regarding the Democrats' national testing plan. Currently, Republicans want to make a few edits. We don't know what those edits are. We don't know what those changes will be. Steve Mnuchin knows, and because of that, he is going to change a few things. But we don't have word on what those changes will be, or if Nancy Pelosi and Democrats are going to even accept this. Even with testing, tracing, and treatment agreed upon, okay? So far it's roughly agreed upon right now. But there are still other issues that have not yet been worked out. Some of these issues, some of these things that they're stuck on. Number one, we know this, and we've known this for forever, is state and local government funding. I don't know how they're going to get over that. The only way they would is if President Trump says, okay, we'll just give you the money. Or if Nancy Pelosi says, all right, $300 billion is fine. But I don't see either one of those scenarios actually working out or playing out anytime in the near future. So as far as how they can get over this impasse with state and local governments, as of right now, I just don't know. With unemployment benefits, the issue is not the length of time, because Republicans and Steve Mnuchin, they agreed, okay, we'll give you till the end of January 31st. That is when the deadline will be. However, Democrats are now saying it's not the length, it's the amount. And based on the amount, based on being $200 less, Republicans want $400 per week. Democrats want $600 per week for the full till January 31st, starting I think in September 6th or 16th, somewhere around there. So right now, Nancy Pelosi says they're about $200 billion apart. And Republicans want tax cuts. They want to get rid of the earned income credit and child tax credit. Well, Nancy Pelosi says, no, we do not want to do that. That has nothing to do with COVID. So the other day, Senator Lindsey Graham was talking stimulus, and he had this to say, quote, I'm with the president in terms of big. I think the bigger the package, as long as it's smart, the $2.2 trillion package that the House passed doesn't have a penny for small business. There's no PPP money in it. There's no requirement you have a Social Security number before you get a $1,200 stimulus check. So that would go to people here illegally, most likely. Now, his statement is mostly correct, except for one thing. There is some funding in the HEROES Act, in HEROES 2.0, for the PPP program, but it states that it would reuse funds and it would allow for additional funding that is added later on to go to these same different businesses. 10% would go to small businesses with 10 employees or less. Right now, there's only $130 billion in additional funding, in repurposed funding. So there's not a lot of money here that would go to small businesses. And that's what Republicans are saying is, we can't accept this because it's missing a huge section of what we want. Now, the reason why this is a huge problem is because $130 billion would solve some issues, but 50% of that the $130 billion, so what's that, $65 billion, is going to larger businesses with 200 employees or less, which means that the majority of the small businesses, the mom and pop shops, the ones that are closing down, they will continue to close down because only $13 billion would go to those businesses. So Republicans are not on board there. Also, more businesses are on the brink of shutting down now than they were months ago. So this needs to happen quickly, and we need to find a remedy to this solution, to this situation. Many people have asked here on the YouTube channel why President Trump won't accept a $2.2 trillion stimulus package. Well, it's pretty obvious now. First, there's no additional PPP funding. There was a ballot harvesting, which they're completely against. And also, Republicans want COVID-related issues in the bill. And there are too many non-COVID-related issues in this bill. Also, $2.2 trillion would be tough to get Senate Republicans on board with. So that is an issue there. They're also saying that this bill is actually closer to $2.4 trillion, not 2.2, so there's another issue. Now, the other problem that I have is that Republicans keep saying we do not want to cover non-COVID related issues. However, Republicans are putting in the child tax credit and earned income credit, and these don't address any COVID related issues either. So I don't see why it's not going for both parties. Nancy Pelosi does the exact same thing. Is we need to honor our work, honor our heroes, and provide money to the American people, put money in their pockets. Yet she's withholding. She's holding out on a larger stimulus package when we really don't need a larger package. We just need money now. The problem that both parties are facing is not just the numbers, but the policy behind those numbers. This is exactly what Lindsey Graham was saying. A report the other day indicated that Nancy Pelosi's $2.2 trillion stimulus package was actually worth 2.4, if not a little bit more. And I can tell you right now, Republicans are not going to go for $2.4 trillion. Nancy Pelosi was saying Democrats brought their offer down $1 trillion, and they brought it down again, an additional $200 billion. Well, right now, it doesn't look like she kept her word because it seems like it's still at $2.4 trillion. Now, in other news, there are reports out there that indicate that President Trump has closer to $1 billion in debt, not $400 million like many people were assuming or saying. However, this report also indicates that President Trump's assets are higher than what other reports are indicating. His assets are closer to $3.5 billion, which means he still has a net worth of $2.5 billion. This means, that President Trump is not going bankrupt anytime soon. However, some businesses could go bankrupt. I'm not here to speculate. I'm just here to tell you what is going on, and this report seems like it's very accurate. The Senate right now looks like they will pivot and start addressing COVID-related issues, as they have noticed that the Supreme Court justice hearing did very little to propel Republicans closer to a win. Right now, it seems like Mitch McConnell made a mistake. The American people didn't want to go through a Supreme Court justice hearing. They would rather the Senate work on COVID issues to get the American people money, get them back to work, and make our country safe once again. However, that's not what happened. Americans did not forget about COVID under all these issues and the lack of leadership from Congress, the Senate and the House of Representatives included. Mitch McConnell still plans to bring a bill to the floor this coming Monday, but many people are saying this is going to do very little. I personally anticipate this will do nothing. This may not even get passed by Senate Republicans. So we will see what happens there. There are multiple reports out indicating that Americans that went on unemployment were able to pad their savings accounts over the summer months, which was great for people on unemployment. However, these savings accounts are quickly dwindling down, and within a month should be under the average savings numbers from March. Now, you'll see a big spike. Okay, let me show you this really quick. You're going to see this big spike that you can follow along in this graph. The nice thing about this is, people did pad their bank accounts. The problem was the money is going away way too quickly. Now, this is very scary because many people are under the impression there's no stimulus coming, possibly for months. Now, I wish I could say, no, they're not gonna wait months. We're not gonna have to wait till January or February. However, that's looking more and more likely with each passing day. Now, here's some good news. Two lawmakers, Peter DeFazio, a Democrat from Oregon, and John Larson, a Democrat from Connecticut, they plan to propose a bill to increase the cost of living adjustment for Social Security. It was expected to increase, it's called COLA, it was expected to increase by 1.3% for 2021. That would give an average Social Security recipient about $20 extra. However, they are now wanting to pass a bill that would give Social Security beneficiaries 3% for cost of living adjustment. So it would more than double that, which would bring it to about $45 to $50 for the average recipient. Currently, it was only expected to be 1.3%, which is not much. Many Americans really laid into this idea that why is it only 1.3%? Costs are going up, and we're getting the same amount of money. Well, what they're saying is that seniors are facing additional burdens in order to stay safe. And Peter DeFazio says in a statement, this absolutely anemic COLA won't even come close to helping them afford even their everyday expenses, let alone those exacerbated by COVID-19. And he's very true on that. It's correct. And lastly, Virginia Governor Ralph Northam announced on Thursday that he will use $73 million from the CARES Act funding to pay home healthcare workers $1,500 each as a one-time payment. This is estimated to go out to 43,500 people who provided care between March 12th and June 30th. Now, this is huge because according to reports, the majority of home healthcare workers are women. And recent reports indicate that women are finding it harder to go back to work once on unemployment. Many experts are reporting that males are getting called back first and at a faster rate than women, which is extremely alarming. There should be no issue. There should be no reason why a man, as a male, I don't feel like I should be entitled to a job over a female. There should be no reason for that. This is 2020. Why aren't we all getting called back to work? It's just a disgrace. Anyway, It's also a big story because, and I've been saying this for months, as more states start to offer rental assistance, hazard pay, some type of, stimulus bonus or whatever for residents, other states are going to catch on and going to provide some of this as well. What we know is that many states don't have the funding to provide hazard pay to all their workers. However, some states do. So those states that do have some additional funding might offer hazard pay. So if you are a home healthcare worker, then just understand this might be a benefit to you as well. Doesn't matter if you live in Virginia, you live in Washington, California, probably not going to get something, but you live in other states that have some money to spend, you might get something. So, in COVID-related news, the United States reported yesterday, this is based on the Johns Hopkins University report, that yesterday the United States saw 70,451 new COVID cases. That is a new high. That is just 5,000 under our record. Also, we saw 909 deaths. This is the highest number of new cases per day since the middle of July, where we saw numbers top out as 75,682 cases per day. So, this is your second stimulus check update and stimulus package news report. Hopefully you have a great day and a wonderful weekend. If there's anything I can do for you, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed today's video, do me a favor, smash that thumbs up button, subscribe so I can keep you updated on all things stimulus, and I'll see you guys on the next one.